It's the sneaky things, like the ones that we barely even notice, that make the biggest impact in our lives. Like sometimes they bring us the biggest joy, abundance, and other times there's those sneaky things that hold us back in ways we don't even realize it. And as we close out 2024, I want to take a moment and reflect on what's been hiding in plain sight for us this year, like the tiny wins we discredited and the blocks we ignored, the grief we probably ignored, and the small shifts that are going to help us move through, carry on in 2025. And so that's what today's episode's about, is us reflecting on the no-see-ums. Welcome to the Hello Well with Danielle podcast, your weekly mental vacation from the daily grind for busy women who just need a moment to pause, breathe, and woosah. I'm your host, Danielle Washington, and this episode is really inspired by me getting jacked up in Mexico. I just got back from a retreat in Mexico, which was amazing, in Cozumel. But what wasn't amazing were these things called no-see-ums. You can look them up. They're little small gnats that you don't see. They're often called sand fleas as well, that were attacking all of us. Like, we literally thought we were being attacked by mosquitoes. Like, one girl looked like she had the measles. My legs are tore up. My feet are tore up. And it was so much to the point where I just felt like my whole body was burning. And it reminded me of the no-see-ums in our life. It reminded me of like the small wins that go unnoticed, the quiet moments that go unnoticed, the small blessings that go unnoticed, which are big impacts in our life. And I started thinking about, okay, what are the things that I just discredited as like, oh, it's just life? 2024 wasn't a bad year. I took 10 different trips. And in my past life, that would have been like, oh, girl, you went nowhere. But since COVID, I really haven't gone anywhere. So for me, in 1 year to take 10 trips, that was a win. I got certified as an advanced yoga nidra teacher. I completed 500 hours of my yoga therapy training. I turned 50. What else happened? There's so many other little things. I think one of the biggest no-see-ums that happened in my life was that I stopped overextending myself to prove my worth. I stopped trying to do as much. I stopped trying to fix as much. And I started just being more. And it just felt like it just kind of gradually happened. But that was one of the no-see-ums in my life that happened in here in 2024. But there's the flip side of no-see-ums. There's also the side where it feels like, just like those hidden joys, there's those things that were holding us back, but aren't such big things and obvious things that we notice it so easily. It's those subtle, sneaky blocks, the doubts, the habits, the narratives that we've taken on as ours, the fears that run in the background. It's those quiet things that keep us stuck. And when we aren't noticing them or not paying attention to the no-see-ums of those blocks, we aren't growing. But they are growing. They are secretly growing in the background, becoming these big whelps in our life until it's so big that we can't help but notice it. But when we're able to bring our attention, shine some light on the no-see-ums that are blocking us, we can start finally being able to release them. I still have no-see-ums around money. I still have some no-see-ums around my health. Even though I am really good at telling people, not even telling people, talking about and helping people find their blocks and releasing them, it doesn't mean I don't have my own that I'm still working through, that I have my team that I work with. I'm not perfect. And that's a beautiful no-see-um that has gotten better. To be able to say, I am not perfect, nor am I striving to be perfect. In 2025, as this clock feels like it's ticking down, you have like the 25th, the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31, 1. It feels like this ticking time bomb of, oh my God, what didn't I get done? What didn't I do? What was that? What did I say I was going to do beginning in January that, I now have these last final days, these last final hours to get done. And on the flip side, we're like January 1, day 1. What am I doing? If I'm not doing, if I'm not fixing, if I'm not planning, I'm not manifesting, and I'm not, making this big vision board of my life, I'm behind. And I really wanted to say the no-see-ums is that January 1 is just the same as July 1, just the same as September 1, as March 1. It's just a day. The energy you put behind the day, the anxiety you put behind the day makes it more than a no-see-um. The no-see-um of just January 1 being January 1 is you get to just be. There's no pressure behind it. I invite you to take a moment, if you can, and just look at the no-see-um of the hidden joys in your life, the moments we rush past, the quiet blessings, the unexpected joys that happen. I think of the no-see-ums of, I saw so many of my friends. Most of my friends don't live in the Bay Area. And I was able to connect with so many people. And until just saying it now, I was like, oh yeah, duh. But like, it's not a duh moment. The people I saw this year poured into me in such a beautiful way that pushed me to be a better person, that gave me that joy. One of the things I didn't realize as a no-see-um is that I was busy working on helping other people find their joy, and I wasn't really focusing on my own joy. And this trip to Mexico really helped me like rein in what it means to feel joyful in my life. So I think if the no-see-ums didn't happen, I would have just gone on and skipped over the little things that were holding me back and the little things that made such a huge impact of bringing joy and abundance in my life. So take the time, reflect, look at your no-see-ums so you can bring light to what's blocking you and what's bringing you joy, and figuring out what needs to be released and what needs to be amped up in 2025. And if you already are looking for ways to amp up that joy, that release, that connection in 2025, I invite you to join me in Brazil, July 21st to the 29th, with my co-hosts of the Black on the Mat podcast, Saisha from Thick Thigh Yoga. We are hosting a retreat in Brazil in the Bahia region, which is like the epicenter of Black culture. It's going to be a vibe. There'll be some yoga, there'll be some meditation, but there'll also be, because we're in Brazil, you can't just be yogaing it out. We're connecting with the culture. We're, taking a history tour. We're, experiencing the dance culture. We are experiencing a spiritual healings, learning how to cook, learning about the drinks. And I'm excited about it. This is for people who, if Brazil has been on your bucket list, this is for you. If you have wanted to go but didn't want to go by yourself, this is for you. If you want to connect with a group of Black people, because it's for men and women, this is one of my first trips where it's co-ed, this is for you. So bring your boo along with you, and let's experience a beautiful time of being Black in Brazil and healing at the same time. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next year, one way or another. Other than that, I'll talk to you soon. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.